We'll go ahead and use a medium view. A medium view. And we'll start the recording off with a tasty beverage. Oh, what's this one? Carbuck Tasty Waves, a summer ale. Oh, that is better. Okay. Hey everybody. Welcome back to another Garage Time episode. I'm a customizer now, right? Like Jake said, I'm a customizer. I'm gonna turn a wrench. I'm gonna use a file. I'm finally doing this. I already started and I didn't record because, you know, I don't like you and I really don't want to record, but I'm gonna. So I started too. Here to do a little Garage Time video for you. Show you how to put skid plate on your motorcycle with parts that you found in stores. Right, okay. What you're gonna need for this is tools. Some sort of series of tools that make for cutting things, and bending things, and then cutting things some more, and maybe some finishing materials. There we go. What I've done so far is I got a plate here from you know, your local box store, and it actually happened to be like just the right width for my bike. But I imagine it'd fit a lot of your bikes, so just go look at those metal pieces at, you know, your local low depots. We took cardboard and cut it out, and I was like, you know, it's gonna be like that, I thought. But then after sizing it up, I was like, you know what, we can keep a lot more material there, and that's like much more safer for the bashes of the rocks and stuff. So we're gonna keep more material. Screw that cardboard, I don't need it anymore, right? This is better. I got it bent up, and then I had to get this part cut out here. So what we did was take the hacksaw, hack it down on both sides, and then start bending this, and that's where Mr. Hammer came in. Basically fold it on this here, and then just start working it back and forth a little bit. File the edge down here so it's thinner, work it back and forth some more. Bing, bang, boom, breaks right off, no problem. It's not pretty. If you see the edges, like, I mean, you can see in the light how, yeah, there you go. It's not pretty, but it's smooth now. I mean, you know, relatively, it's not gonna cut anything, and yeah, and it fits. See, what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna put you on the floor like this. You can be like, there's a motorcycle, and I can be like, hey, here's a bash plate, you know? There you go. How am I gonna keep it up there? That's what we're gonna do now. The power of editing magic, and skip ahead, and there'll be holes in this. We'll drill holes. See, you gotta mark it, and you gotta measure it. Remember, measure it once, cut it twice. Every time, baby. The drill. Well, the batteries for that thing are just as old as it is, and they don't hold the charge that well. They don't charge that well. I get like one hole drilled, and then the battery's dead. So that's good. See, because what I'm gonna do, what we did there, is drill 2 holes pretty close to each other, and then take the top of it and bend it up. And that's gonna allow the zip tie to basically thread through it and not go too far under it on this side. Like you can see on this side, it's like dipped in now, it's recessed. And I wish I could get a little more recessed, and I wish I could get it precise, but I would need like an actual like knuckle shaped punch to punch that in right there, and then I can make a little eye to run the zip tie through. Now, I don't have any tools like that, so we're just going to drill 2 holes, and we're going to bend it, and we're going to punch it until we get that little divot. Welcome back, everybody, to a new day. Look at this, I got it mocked up. And I tried it, and I skipped all that shit. I'm not going to record that shit, but here you go, look. Look, I just used it. We got a bash plate here in the front, right? And it goes down, yeah. And as you can see, it's a little wet and grimy now. because I just went out and tried it. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna clean up the rust and get it all nice and smooth and start hitting it with some paint. This barbecue paint. Barbecue has 2 wheels. Bike has 2 wheels. Obviously, that's what I need. It's a little finicky, but I think that works. I think that it's basically 8 zip ties. You've got 2 in the front, right here and here. Here and here. And then you've got 6 that go along the bottom here. And it seems to work. Also, did you hear the music? That's copyrighted, bitch. Alright, so here we go. There's our bash plate. Let's paint it up a little bit. Starting to look pretty good. What are you doing with your life? You haven't followed me on Twitter or Instagram? Really? What are you doing with your life? You look like smudgy smeared here. Hold on, sweetheart. Right, so what are you doing with your life? Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Jesus. Wiped it down with the lighter fluid. Wiped it down. Wipe it down some more, make sure there's no more rust. Now I'm ready to paint. Hit it with the alcohol, clean off all the lighter fluid, then hit it with the paint. Now I hit it with the paint. Now I gotta wait for the paint to dry. Once the paint's dry, I'm gonna hit it with the paint again. Alright, and there's some frame in action. What we did here is just add a little bit of weather stripping to the bottom of the frame here. That way when the metal plate goes up against it, it's not metal on metal in any spots. Now, from what I could tell, even before that, when I did a mock-up and took it around the block, the zip ties were pretty much allowing like a little bit of a gap between the bash plate and the frame, so there wasn't metal on metal touching, so you can't scrape shit up. But just in case. Skid plate. Done. 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 We're gonna install this bad boy now. So I'll be right back and I'll show you how I weave some stupid zip ties into this stupid skid plate and stick it on my stupid bike. Okay, first off, obviously the washing machine here is running, and that's not ideal. None of the current conditions for recording this are ideal, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it anyways. So here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zip ties. All right, 8 zip ties. Here we go. So you just thread these through. All right, as you can see here, just thread these guys in. It's easy. It's super easy. Now that it's got paint, it actually, you know, this thing actually looks kind of decent. That actually looks really good now that it's black. Okay. Cool. Cool beans. Alright, so we're gonna get one of these installed here. Go around the fucking frame. See, that's the problem with this shit. Is like, you know, like obviously one that just bolts on would be so much fucking easier to deal with. But oddly enough, the SW Motec crash bars that are on this bike kind of eliminate the option of using a normal skid plate. And SW Motec doesn't address that issue by making a skid plate that matches their fucking crash bars. I could use another skid plate that's like the basic one that most people would use for a Bonneville, but I would have to modify that as well, and it costs like, I mean, the one for the Bonneville costs like a couple $100, and it only goes to here, basically. Like, basically where this zip tie is, that's where that skid plate stops. And if you can see there, there's the oil filter. So it stops, like, you know, maybe like a few centimeters before the oil filter. So yeah, mine goes further back, and it doesn't cost $200. Back again one last time here to show the finished product. Alright, now it's a little dark. I don't have the lighting I did. There you go. There's a eighth of an inch thick stainless steel bash plate stitched on there with some zip ties. I will say, because it's made with zip ties, it's a little more finicky than I'd like, and it does make me wonder about, like, when I do oil changes, I'm gonna have to, that's just one more step. I'm gonna have to uninstall that and then reinstall it after I get done changing the oil, and that's you know, I guess that's just a compromise. That's just a price I pay for having a bash plate there that can actually protect all that stuff. See, okay, so we got the oil filter ends here and the skid plate ends here. See, not much. And the stock skid plate would end about here, well before the oil filter, which, you know, it just makes no sense that they wouldn't cover it wouldn't go that far back and cover that up. But mine does, so great job.
1, 2, 3, fuck it.